Hi there, my name is Anita Griesbeck. I'm here to share success stories of women from all around the globe to inspire and to encourage millions of women to write their own success story. I'm very happy about my guest today, Tanja Mäder. She's a kick-ass fighter and trainer, and she helps women to become their own fucking superhero. Pardon my French. How she does that, listen closely. Hi, Tanya. Welcome. Great to see you.
Hi, I loved your intro. That was honest and raw. It's my style. I love it.
Yeah, I thought it fits to you. How are you today?
Huh?
How are you today?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you. I'm very good.
Great to hear. Okay, so a more proper intro so people know what it actually is about. You are a personal trainer. Let me check. You are a kickboxer and self-defense coach.
Yes.
And you use all of that for empowering women.
I am really trying to. Yes. I hope it works.
Yeah, and you use it and you have different ways for doing that, right? You have a podcast that you do as well. Let me check. You do personal training online and offline. You do self-defense coaching for girls and women. And you also donate part of your income to women's rights organizations.
Yeah. Yes. Especially the online gym. I do an online gym where you just you pay a fee every month, and I always 10 Swiss francs goes to Terre des Femmes to fight prostitution and I mean how's the English word, trafficking, human trafficking actually. And yeah, also we have I had a partner doing the self-defense classes with me, but we split on good terms. We split and we used to donate 15% of our income to different organizations. The last one was FIZ in Zurich. They also work with people or work with people who have been in trafficking rings and kind of help women get out of there. So this is a big part. I'm trying to kind of just support people where I can. Yeah.
Fantastic. Hats off to you. You live and love empowerment, female empowerment. Where does that come from, your passion for empowering women?
Well, I think a big part of my story is I had to learn to empower myself. And I wouldn't be where I am today if I never learned that. I was supposed to play a role that I never wanted to play. And I really had to learn to listen to myself and to believe in myself. And I've had a lot of women in my life, also men, but mainly women who did the same to me, who kind of inspired me to listen to myself and to find my own way and find my own voice. And that's just something that made me who I am, and that's what I want to give back into the world. I heard this saying once that it's really beautiful. It's a quote. It says, be the person you needed when you were younger. And I love that. That's actually just sums it up for me. I try to be the person for other people that I needed when I was younger. Yeah.
I love that. I have never heard this quote. I love inspiring quotes.
I love it too.
So you then sometimes think back at your younger self when you do things and think, okay, back then, what would I have thought or needed?
All the time. I think
all the time. Okay, funny. I actually do the opposite.
Really?
When I think about something I want to do, but I'm scared or unsure about it, I think at my 80-year-old self.
Oh yeah.
What would she tell me? And she would definitely kick my ass and say, "You do that now."
That's a cool way too, though. I think if you like me, maybe sometimes I'm too much still hung up in the past or past me. But doing it the other way, that's really cool too. I do that sometimes. I don't do it as often, but I think it's both ways. It's really powerful.
As long as it works, right?
Exactly.
Cool. I read once you wrote in one of your posts on LinkedIn, you are your biggest enemy.
Yeah.
not only you, but everyone. There are so many challenges and hurdles and yeah, difficulties out there, but it's really we ourselves, that limit us. How do you see that in your trainings or with others, or how do you deal with that? How
That's a
do
good
you incorporate
question.
that in your work?
I think I would soften it down to, like, instead of saying you're your biggest enemy, soften it down to you're your hardest opponents. I think that makes more sense. Because I see, and I feel like I mainly see this in women, that we hold ourselves back, and we rather say I can't do this than really go to work on ourselves and try to get to where we want to be, and really like uncover what holds us back. And that's a very painful process, and I think that's where the work gets in, and that's where the saying is you're your toughest opponent. Because no matter who you deal with on the outside, you can always walk away from people, you can always like not answer their calls, or just set your boundaries, or go away, or whatever. But with yourself, you're stuck with yourself. And when the lights go out and when people leave and when you're all alone in your room staring at the ceiling, you're alone with your thoughts. And when there's things you haven't like really looked at, that shit just haunts you. And that's a painful process, but it's worth going through, because I think that's truly how we empower ourselves and really uncover the person we can be and uncover our own strength.
Inspirational. Thank you. So true. Do you, or can you, do you incorporate that in your work as well? When you empower women, is that part of your work as well?
When we did the self-defense classes, I'm still working on these projects like with myself now, or for myself, but like when we used to do them together, we would kind of get into the empowerment part, because empowerment starts in your head. It starts in the way you present yourself. It starts in the way you set your boundaries. And this is something that I feel like is really important, because if you don't start there for self-defense, you will never be able to defend yourself. And that goes kind of into a psychological part. But I am careful with that. Like I try to like kick people in the butt to ask themselves the right questions, but like I'm not a professional in that area, so I'm careful. Like I don't want to get too deep. I don't want to like mess some people's minds up or whatever, but I just want to like guide them into the right direction. And that's just what like helped me. And I try to encourage people to just ask the hard questions and go deep by themselves or with professional help from outside, which I think everybody could profit from.
Definitely. I agree. Sounds amazing. I love your martial arts history as well. Just checking on my list. You had stays abroad as well. You trained at the legendary Shaolin Monastery in China. You were in Muay Thai schools in Thailand, and you learned from mixed martial art fighters of the Ultimate Fighting Championship in the US. Oh my God, that sounds exciting.
You did your research.
Yes, of course.
I gotta say, it's like it's just a small amount of time I spent with the UFC fighters, and I was 1 week in the Shaolin Monastery, but still, I mean, I have trained with the Shaolin multiple times because they came here too. So that's really cool. Yeah, and I actually have one of my best friends is in the UFC, and so I learned a lot from her, and she's a big part of people who've inspired me. And we've been like, I've known her since I was 16 years old. So yeah, it is exciting. Like this is a person in my life who like, whenever I visit her, it's just, things just get exciting. It doesn't matter what we do. It's just always like
amazing. I think it's not always the length of the time. You know, sometimes there are moments that can completely change your thinking, your behavior, whatever. So even though it was only a couple of days or a week, but sometimes that can really set new ways in your life.
True. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have an inspiring, exciting, crazy story from either your stay abroad or here? Anything you say, that is something I'd like to share.
Um, I got a lot of them, but I think like one moment that really inspired me to step up my game in this whole martial arts world was my friend who I think I'm not sure if it was 2015 or 16 when she actually won the women's bantamweight belt, the championship of the UFC, and I was there with her there in Las Vegas and got to see her win the belt, and that was like the start of my visit. And after that, just stuff just got crazy. Like we just, it was I stayed for a week, and I got to like go with her to interviews, to just it was like I don't even know where to start. It was just crazy. What we had the VIP treatment in Las Vegas for 1 week, and I got to just experience all of that, and that was just crazy. And I'm not saying like, oh, she was so famous, that's so cool, even though it is, but I'm saying like the moments or the emotions I felt during her fights and after, and like how you just said, things can like little moments can change your course in life. And I feel like this has been a core moment for me to be like, this is so cool. I want to do fights. I want to step my game up. I can do this. When I used to think that's something other people do. And I just came home like with a different mindset, I feel like. Yeah.
Important. Yeah, mindset. It's
Yeah.
basically.
And it was maybe also like it was a crazy fight because she almost lost, but like in the very last couple of seconds, she just got the choke hold on her opponent, and it was a crazy fight. You should look it up. It's Misha Tate versus Holly Holmes, and it was insane. It was intense. So yeah.
Sounds exciting. I will. Amazing. So then, after this 1 week in the US, which I guess felt like being on a different planet, you came home. And how did you change things, or did you start something, or did you put more effort in things, or did you simply feel different, more empowered?
Yeah, and I just kind of try to, like, when you're in this emotional state, you know, like things happen, you're like, oh, I want to do this is so cool, and you're all emotional and all like go go go, but you know this doesn't last. So you try to hold on to it, which you can't obviously. But I just kind of, in these moments, I just set a reminder for myself. Okay, girl, you want that, go get that. And sometimes I write it down, like I write a letter to myself, like, hey, right now this is how I feel, and I know that shit's inside of you, even though you don't feel it anymore. So go get it and go after what you want. Sometimes I do this kind of stuff. If I can't hold on to a feeling, I just kind of write to my future self. I don't remember if I did that, but I think I just came home. I went to my gym. Back then I was in Kung Fu, and we did some like stand-up boxing and stuff, which is similar to kickboxing. And I just told them, hey, I want to fight. And nobody ever fought in that school before, and so I just had to figure it out. And that's kind of what set this whole kickboxing thing in motion, because I went to the fight. Obviously I lost, but after that I called I called a kickboxing school that like had been to many fights before, and I just started training kickboxing. And yeah. Talk with that.
Go step by step from there.
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you have vision, aims, plans, goals, something that you're currently working on, or that you would love to achieve one day?
Yeah, I do. And I gotta say to this, like, I do get confused. I do get overwhelmed. I think that's something a lot of us feel. And I'm actually confused and overwhelmed right now. But I still feel like I know where I need to go. I just don't know how to get there yet, but I will figure it out. But I have had this thought in my mind that I want to open up a kickboxing school or martial arts school for women. This is something I'm kind of looking for a room. I'm still just kind of keeping my my eyes open for opportunities, and they have not come yet, but you know, I'm staying positive and see what's gonna happen. And yeah, that's actually what I want to do one day. Let's see.
Fingers crossed.
Thanks.
Excited to see where your path leads you. And congrats, this year you've been voted LinkedIn Top Voice 22 in the area of what was it? Awareness?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, awareness.
Mindfulness.
Oh, mindful. Yeah, right.
Yeah, congrats. So I feel like you come across very authentic, very well. You're simply yourself, and this is also the way you present yourself, like in LinkedIn or on other social media platforms. And I think this is something that people want and like. It's all social media can be so glittery, and like me as well. When I watch people there, I feel like, oh my god, I'm so small. Where am I? In contrast, contrary to them. And I feel like well, you have reached a lot, but you also show the work behind it, and you're very human.
I try to be.
Yeah, so congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Thanks.
What other question do I have? Oh yes, one of my favorites. What is your personal secret to success?
Oh, good questions. You ask good questions. I think, like, first of all, like, I have something on my eyes. I apologize. Something's stuck in here. I think you have to like define your success for yourself. What does it mean? Like, we get overwhelmed when we see people on social media. We get overwhelmed when we when we listen to audiobooks. Like, I've done this. I got so deep into the rabbit hole of inspirational audiobooks and interviews that I kind of got into, oh, I have to do this way, I have to do that way. But you kind of have to come back to yourself and realize, like, what is success to me? And if I ask myself this question, like, I don't want to, like, I'm not saying I don't want to, but like, it's not my goal to go big or to be like super rich or whatnot. All I want is, like, I'd rather have time for myself, time for my partner, time for my cats. I have cats. Okay, I'm mom. Time for maybe a future dog, who knows. But like, I'd rather have time for myself, for my mental health, than go big and just have like my 10 gyms in the world. I'm not saying that's wrong. Everybody defines this for for themselves. But I think first ask yourself, what is success to you? What does success look like to you? And there's no wrong answer there. And then just like really ask yourself how you can get there. Because there's different ways, and there's different ways you can do things. The path of person A might not be the path for person B. So find your success, find your road to get there that fits your personality, that fits your way of working, and just know yourself. It comes down to knowing yourself, knowing what motivates you, what you don't like to do, knowing what you can like pay somebody else to do, and like focusing on your strengths or maybe working on your weaknesses. You just figure it out for yourself, but there's no right answer for everybody. And I feel like just knowing yourself, know how your mind works and how you are as a person, how you work, and when you work best as a person, I think this is really important.
So true. Thank you, Tanja. Yeah, success really comes from within. If you know your why.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
True.
Important. Yeah, thank you. Another question. Speaking of cats, I see your cat behind you. What's the story?
This is this is Kiki. This is Kickboxing Kitty. And I made her.
You've drawn her?
I've drawn her. And I just felt like doing a plushie. So I I tried to figure out how to do it. So I drew her, and I had my my partner like do the 3D drawings on the computer, because the place where I made her, they didn't like quite get it right. After four drawings, we were like, okay, no, that's not it. Okay, let us do it, and then send it to them. Anyway, yeah, and now I have like 45 plushies in the basement. So I sell Kiki in Switzerland for 65 Swiss francs with shipping in Switzerland. And yeah.
Love it. Your personal cat.
Yeah, my personal.
And she's, what does Kiki stand for? Does she have a motto, or she stands for empowerment, for fighting?
Yeah, so she's pink, right? So she has this pink jumpsuit with the hood, because I feel like, and she's super cute, but she's a badass boxer. And I feel like, or kickboxer, there are these two extremes, like cuteness and strength, or whatever two extremes you wanna like compare. There's just beauty in having different aspects to your personality or to yourself. There's beauty in just finding strength in being vulnerable, or whatever. I mean, you can be whatever you want to be, and you don't have to be like, being a strong person doesn't mean you're like just tough and have it all figured out all the time. Like, I don't know anybody who does. And this is where we get back to social media, where everybody's just like has it figured out, right? Even though like we all struggle and we all second guess ourselves. We all, or most of us, have imposter syndrome. Most of us feel like we have no fucking clue what we're doing most of the time. And that's normal. And you can be this and that. You can have different personalities in you, or different characteristic traits. And the question is, what do you make out of it? Don't ever think I'm this and I can't be that, because things like the more color you have inside of you, the more interesting it gets.
Yeah, true. I think you combine that very well as well. First look, you look like a badass kick-ass girl, and then when you look behind, like when I listened to your podcast, I thought, oh my god, she has such a nice voice.
I never liked my voice.
And the topics you deal with, mental health, empowerment, yeah, I love the way you combine it.
Thank you. Thanks.
So my last question, is there a woman that you feel would be such an inspiration to millions of women out there, that you feel like, or that you would love to see in an interview with me?
I have a list for you.
Great.
There's so many. There's so many. Let me just tell you a couple of them, and to everybody listening to this, you should really like connect yourself with these people. Like, there's for starters, there's my sister Nadia Sternik. She talks about healthy working when you're working in the office, just like not getting sick, not getting back aches and all that stuff. And she's a badass too. Like, she's a mom, she's an entrepreneur, she has 10 employees, and she just gets shit done. She inspired me a lot too. I also have Ronja Stürmer. She talks about a topic that interests me a lot, which is ADHD, because I have ADHD, and she's a person that just talks about it and just helps people understand and break stigma of ADHD. I have two really inspiring female doctors who I love, Susan Maurer and Luitgard Holzek. They're both super busy people, but they find time to talk about their topics, to talk about health. Tamara Gollier, she does face yoga, which is really cool. Tanja Kuntz, she also empowers women. Maybe that would be interesting for you too, for your topic. She does it in business more, like she kind of teaches women to stand up for themselves in their businesses and whatever. I hope I'm saying this right, Tanja, if you watch this. Yeah, this is my list, so I can send it to you if you want. But these people, most of them speak English also. But yeah, there's so many inspiring women out there, and men too. And yeah.
I know. Thank you. Many more interviews to come. I'll look forward to them.
Good.
Thank you, Tanja. I had a blast. It was so nice to talk to you. And thank you for your stories, inspirations. It was really an honor.
Thank you. It was an honor for me too. So nice to be here. Good luck
So
with your...
you guys, thank you. So you guys out there, thank you for watching. I hope you had a blast. And you will have a look again at any future interviews. And remember, keep fighting for what you believe in. Take care and see you soon.